Hey guys, CALLOUS here, joined by Jabba the Griffin. We are live narrating one of the most hyped matchups of the play-ins. Watermess, who a lot of people thought should have been in the main event to begin with, versus,
including me.
including Jabba, against CyberOdin, who's had two tries at the main event and has not managed to record a win. That's why he found himself this year in play-ins. He went 0-2 both of his attempts, and here he is trying to earn his way back to the main event. Don't want to get behind. We have a lead Zapdos for Watermess on the bottom, and then a T-Tar on the top for I Love You Jesus. Most of you know that is Odin. And we're already at a pause after an Ice Beam.
Yeah, pretty standard exchange right there. I think CyberOdin probably could have done a little bit more. But I guess you don't really have. Oh, but that's great. Never mind.
Well, there's a good
uh,
start for Watermess. He anticipated the Brick Break, which I also anticipated. It looked
yeah.
like a mixed lead set, probably last move HP Grass. Went for the Brick Break. Watermess knew that he would always survive that pending a crit. Predicted it, got the counter, so early lead for Mess. Starmie coming in trying to get a revenge kill, but I highly doubt Mess lets that happen. However, that crit could be relevant. That could
Ooh,
put
that'd be
Jirachi
actually
in danger here.
that's for sure a huge crit. Well, if it's Wish Protect, then
Well, the Hydro Pump may or may not kill here, but I mean, based on that damage roll, it should kill. It also could just miss, but Mess is not going to chance it. He's going to let the Zapdos come in, takes it a little better,
for
40%
me,
from the pump, and it costs 2 PP because of pressure.
this is a really bad sign. I think Mess. This is kind of admitting that he doesn't have the best off me answer in the world. So I mean, obviously Jirachi can keep it at bay. Assuming it's Wish,
Well,
but getting
generally the Starmie should be fine, the Jirachi rather should be fine
yeah,
against it, but that crit
it's still
obviously
a
makes
bit
it hard.
yeah, it's still a bit tenuous though because it's Doug Trio bait. So if that's really the only thing you're using to eat pumps, you're not in the best spot in the world.
And there's another crit. That one may or may
Yeah.
not have mattered. I don't know if that's HP grass or HP fighting. Obviously, if it's fighting, it didn't
It's a
matter.
roll. I think it's a roll for sure.
If it's
Also,
if it's grass,
ooh,
yeah.
I think Mess just the prep here and what he brought it just does not roll well into what Cyberodin brought. This looks like some sort of special offense. Pump me, maybe Superachi here,
Yeah,
and
so there's a
and
couple
Mess.
things going on here. So Mess is getting unlucky. First of all, he's had a couple crits. He missed the Will-O-Wisp there. And the other thing that I want to applaud Odin for all the times that I've criticized him for never changing it up and always bringing the same shit, that is definitely not what's happening in this game. This is completely out of left field for Odin. I've never seen him bring this kind of team. And between that and the luck, it really seems to be working. I highly doubt this is what Watermess thought he was going to be against, and Odin looks fantastic to win this first game.
Yeah, this looks like a hard roll. I don't see how Mess pulls this out.
Well, Body
Um,
Slam Power would help, but he doesn't catch that either. Watermess not on the good end of the RNG this
yeah,
game.
well, even that's not going to really get him through because I mean, you look at the rest of the team. How's he killing it? He pretty much needs to hope that if FPs on the Whirlwind or Zapdos crit. There, it's very tenuous from this spot. There's not really much you can do except, and then even if he does somehow get through this, I mean, look at the rest of the team matchup. Like it's rough.
Now this one looks
So,
over. This one looks over in a blink. Couple of early hacks against Watermess that probably mattered, but he has not been able to bounce back from it at all. And by the way, Watermess is the player that most of you think is going to win. At the time of this matchup, more than a two-thirds majority, according to our prediction thread, believes that Watermess is going to beat Odin, but certainly in this game one, it's not looking that way, and we're already seeing the GGs. Watermess about to pack it up, it looks like, if he doesn't find a crit right now.
yeah, it's over.
No, he
You're
didn't
caught
even
up.
go for the crit. He went for the roar. He's fishing for full para. Did
Yeah,
not get it.
which is a safer bet, obviously. But
And there's the crit, another crit, because why not?
oh,
Yeah.
and right in the game too.
Let's just get right into it. But that was fast and furious. That felt like
That,
it took 5 minutes, and we're already on to the second game.
that and that one was lost in the builder. That's just what it is. Um, I mean, there was luck, sure. I don't think it was relevant. I think that team matchup was just never gonna really work out. I mean, maybe it's different if Gengar hits the Wisp and then the Jirachi's on the clock because it can't kill Mess's Rachi because it was looks like it was Psychic, Ice Punch, HP Grass. So maybe he walls it through that way. But all CyberOdin would need in the back from that spot is like a Super Celebi, and then that's the game. Like you're in one of those situations.
This looks like
But
Odin defaulting to his usual. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a Cloyster and a Gengar in the back. Those are mons that Odin goes to a lot. We have an early trade here via a Dugtrio getting revenge on a meta. It's obviously an offensive team for Mess. Probably could have guessed that from the start with the lead Vaporeon that is almost exclusively on offensive builds, but the meta and the lax will certainly confirm that if there's any doubt. There does not seem to be a great lax switch in from what we've seen so far from Odin. If he does happen to just be running a boring like a Skarm Bliss or whatever, maybe Skarm comes in here. But is
in the
Claydol a
back,
good switch in to
no,
Lax? I don't know about
yeah.
that.
If this is your initial switch in right here, then you're in a real bad spot.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is getting ugly real fast. I mean, even if he blows up now, Boom plus Dugtrio isn't even good enough at this point.
Yeah, this should secure at least 2 kills right now, and if it's like rest, then it just could. Yeah,
There's
if
the
this is your
there's the
go-to.
boom, and he goes to T-Tower. Are we going for a rock slide flinch? Is that how, or is he going focus punch here? He
Oh, that
goes
was
focus
terrible.
punch, and Watermess
He's got
instantly
nothing
calls
out.
that.
Wow, we got a roll and then a counter roll. Can you believe this 1-2 punch of these two games? That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, at this pace, the whole set's going to take about 15 minutes. This is another quick one, not remotely close, and this one I think took even less time, or is going to take even less time than the initial game. Odin lays the smackdown on Watermess in about 5 minutes, and then in about 3.5 minutes, looks like Watermess is going to win this one. There is a chance here.
Yeah, if he's got no Gera counter, it sure looks like he's fine though. Yeah, he's fine out of here.
Dodge Rock Slide, DD again, HP Rock the Mence or something. I mean, it's theoretically doable. He does actually have HP Rock, but comes up well short. I think he needed to DD again. I think you DD, you crit the HP Rock, and you try to sweep. But now I think he is
Yeah,
pretty much
he
dead to
actually would have had
rights.
a legit shot that way. A very low chance, obviously. We're talking 1% odds at that point. But yeah, this one also looks like it was one in the builder.
Well, I applaud Odin for switching it up. Maybe Java and I were talking privately before we started recording about did Odin actually watch our previous video and us teasing him about only using a couple of pokes. I don't think that he watches my YouTube channel, but maybe somebody relayed the message because he's really diversifying himself here. Game 1 it worked, game 2 it didn't, but I applaud the effort either way to we haven't seen a single Cloyster, a single Gengar from him. Someone must be ghosting him.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that one ended up. That one, the scoreboard looks a lot closer than it was. Once Snorlax did its thing, Watermess just kind of moved through the motions. There were outside opportunities for him to get lucked, but obviously that didn't happen. And now we're 1-1 with two reverse just complete rolls.
Yeah, the scoreboard
Hopefully the
here
third.
doesn't reflect. I'm actually still watching the game because I'm not hitting skip turn or skip to end or whatever. I'm trying to let people see it as it happens. But yeah, the scoreboard here, now that we're finally done, does not reflect how not close this game was. This was pretty one-sided. The outcome here never really felt in doubt after the lack sequence, which happened pretty early on.
Yeah, it makes it rough for us because we're just watching builder wins, not much to comment on. Yeah, yeah. Mess game one, CyberOdin had the right team, and then game two, Mess had the right team. You got to hope game three. After all that, we're back to we're at a best of one right now, and hopefully it just started. You want to click on that? Blissey lead. Oh
Yeah,
man,
that caught my eye immediately.
never
Lead
mind.
Blissey for Watermess.
IPL used to be an absolute blissfully truther. Um,
Does Odin just default to comfort here? Probably. Cloister Gengar Tar in the back.
that probably. And we
HP
got the
Fire, so we have a mixed
mix,
growth, and he got an
mix it up.
attack raise, so good offensive pressure early on for Odin. Has the chance with a crit or whatever to.
This is always a interesting exchange. I've been using a lot of mixed meta lately, and when you're into this scarm and you're doing these numbers, it's always interesting to see what each player values. A lot of players I've seen dip at the 63% point after getting the one layer, but you can always go for a second here, and I think it's fair. And as you see here, Mess values the HP on the scarm, as he's probably right to. I'm not a huge fan of risking the Jirachi though into the HP fire because obviously if you get hit with a crit there, you just lose the Jirachi completely, and obviously it's not the best matchup in the world. I'm gonna assume he's Fire Punch, or else there's no reason for him to ever consider switching in. But it's not the best matchup in the world.
So Watermess, even though I still question the Blissey lead, has seemingly brought a pretty stally team here. Odin, like I said, looks to be bringing just the Odin special, the Odin usual. I still suspect Cloistergar in the back, though that is far from guaranteed. Rock Slide here shows us it's not CB damage, and he's not gaining lefties, so could we be looking at a Lumtar, or I guess
ED is
less
what
likely
you
it
gotta.
could be like a Lychee Tar, Salic Tar? Yep,
Yeah,
there's Odin's favorite Pokemon in existence, the mixed Zapdos. He's
that
so
did
known for that.
a lot of damage too. Is that some sort of off doll? How's that taking 38? That doesn't.
That was a good prediction. He Thunder Waves into the Claydol and catches the Rachi.
That's actually really smart because if I mess there and I'm not seeing
Ooh,
like any, it is Lum. Any spikes consideration, I'm considering just booming on that thing. Um,
that was a good prediction. I really like the T Wave into the doll there. That was a great play. Paralyzing the Rachi could end up being really important later on. Here's Dugtrio. That's going to eat HP. I mean,
grass.
grass, right? Gotta be. But
Yep.
he's gonna die. So Odin with the early disadvantage here, but he still has half a team of unrevealeds, even though they're not unrevealed to me. It's Cloister, Gengar, and something else.
If he did, then you know yourself some CyberOdin. Uh, I
Here's
like Mess's remaining matchup. This
Drilpeck.
Zapdos is going to
Oh,
be a pain. I'm
missed
shocked.
opportunity for Odin. That felt like such a clear Drilpeck turn. But
Well, but
he gets bailed out by a crit on the following turn, and I think Mess was gonna blow there. So I think that was a really relevant crit. That was probably a boom. So we now have a healthy Zapdos instead of a dead Zapdos, which is obviously a huge difference. My Lotic comes down for Odin, eats an Ice Beam, 10% freeze doesn't come, but he doesn't even Toxic the Bliss. He just goes Surf. Maybe he thought Skarm was gonna come in to absorb a Toxic. Heal Bell comes down, so the T-Wave on the Rachi actually wasn't a big deal. And now Meta's back, which we know to be mixed.
which is going to be a real pain. I mean, he'll just go Rachi here again. Oh, that's nice. He predicted the that was a really good exchange from Mess. Good play
Does he
there.
boom on this turn or does he wait?
No, there's no way he's booming. He's always HP firing,
Okay.
and that was a good land on the HP fire.
Well, now it gets
But
tricky though because you don't want to boom into a protect. So now the mind games begin. Wish and Hidden Power seems like an obvious protect term. He's going to try to pass it to Skarm. That's going to get blown on, but it's going to
wow.
survive. And then Wish kicks in to basically negate the boom. So Watermess obviously with the better than end of that exchange. But the mixed Zapdos once again comes in and is tricky for Mess to switch into here because the
Yeah,
Rachi did not receive its own wish.
and
Drilpeck takes out Doug.
exactly with the Rachi that low, it's going to be hard for him to check this thing, which is why he just had to toss the Dougie to it. Depending on what's in the back here, we really might see him struggle just to get through. I don't like that at all.
This can
I don't
go
want to
either way.
throw
This is definitely the closest game out of the three that we've had. Not that that's saying much because the other two were so lopsided, but
Milo here. Milo's got to have toxic, right? I like the Milo because how's he ever killing the Milo? That's gonna be a real problem.
yeah, but the Milo doesn't actually kill anything on the other side either. The Blissey and the Rachi could just sit on it all day.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you can get a free surf here in case he tries to get a little antsy and throws the Rachi out
I mean,
instead of just
does that
hanging
do
out with.
anything? Can't the Blissey just sit there and take the surf and not give a shit?
Well, that's a thing. Like you want to heal up the Skarmory and the Rachi, so you're more likely to come in on because this is a fair recover or toxic turn. And as you can see, he did end up getting caught, and then he missed the toxic. But obviously, I mean, this is a
Well, it might be
Milo.
it might be
There's
refresh Milo.
0% chance it's not refresh. And then this is a really good spot for Loom.
Yeah,
I
Loom seems like a poke that Mess right now, especially
think
with
it's a
Dugtrio
one for.
down, does
Oh,
not
that's
want to see.
yeah. Having Gengar is a bit huge, and with the Milo at only
Does he have Gengar? I haven't
61%.
seen Gengar yet. There's
Oh, it just
Gengar.
came in on the Loom.
Yeah, I'm on turn 33. I don't know where we are in real time, but I'm not skipping ahead for
Oh,
the
turn
viewers.
35 in real time.
Milo coming in on Gar. Maybe if you stop skipping ahead, we can be in sync here. Big
Well,
Willow
I'm
Wisp
trying
on Milo, though.
for fast movers. I think this Gar is just gonna clean.
Oh, that's a
That's
huge
one
taunt
thing.
as well, which Odin at least obliges. He at least sniffed out the taunt there, but still,
Oh
that
no!
leaves the
What are you doing?
Milo basically dead. And a nice Giga there as well. He Gigas into, I mean, I guess just to get health back for the Milo. I don't think he was predicting a doll, but worked out really well. Had he gone T-Bolt there, he would have lost a lot of momentum. He burns the doll, eats a psychic. We got a tight one here. I really don't know who wins.
I don't think he should have let the guard take that psychic. Frankly, I think he should have just went hard into the Skarm. I don't think there was any reason to mess around with that. And now he puts himself in a really precarious position because Gengar won't be able to take an attack from this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the doll burnt is like almost useless, so I don't know why Watermess didn't just, like you said, go to Skarm. The biggest threat is clearly the Zapdos here. I mean, we're one
right.
crit on Blissey right
Yeah,
now
yeah.
from having a big problem.
Yeah, he's one crit away from just cleaning this game up. Although I guess the Rachi's still low, which is not where you want it to be. This
Even
is tight, and it's good. This is exactly what we were asking for. This is going to come down entirely to user operation. There are so many lines here.
well, a huge part of
Um,
this is can the Breloom touch the Gengar whatsoever? That's
right.
a pretty. I mean, because Breloom is a massive threat, and Breloom can win the game on its own if it can touch the
Yeah.
Gengar. But I think that's a pretty big if.
That's a terrible boom, right? Yeah,
I think so because now if it's Protect Rachi, don't you just? No, he thinks about it a different way. Interesting. Is it non-Protect Rachi? Yeah, we haven't seen
this
that.
is
We've only seen Wish Ice Punch.
right. Right.
Maybe it's
This is a,
Wish. I
this
think
is a
it's
very
my guess on the Rachi is that it's Wish, Calm Mind, Ice Punch, and either Thunder or Thunderbolt. Because you just protect there, right? You heal your Rachi every time.
what is he doing?
There's Ice Beam. I'm seeing GG's. I'm not. I think it's GG for a Water Mess victory. Yeah, good luck next round, says Odin. So Mess apparently did get this. I'm still on turn 48. I hate that it spoils it for us beforehand, but I don't know what Odin was doing this game. There were some plays that I
Yeah.
have some
The-
pretty
This,
pretty serious questions about.
this line from when they were at the 4-4 on both sides, I think CyberOdin just kind of took the worst line every time, right? He was chasing really bad lines.
Yeah, I don't know
I
how
think
this game ended up like this. It felt like it should have been a lot closer. It went from 4-4 to 4-0,
right.
and to me it feels like it wasn't supposed to. I don't it's so hard to analyze in real time when it's moving so fast. I would have to
And
go
it
back
looks
and watch
like
the replay, but I don't know what
and it
Odin did in that late game. It felt
And it
mm,
looks like Loom had a hidden power that might have been able to hit the guard. Obviously, we don't know if that's Ghost or if it's Bug.
I think
It,
probably Bug. I mean, if it's Ghost, it's
it,
even better. But even, I mean, Bug is even. I don't
Bug
know.
should be.
I mean,
Bug might be. I don't know.
Gengar 4X resisted, so Bug I guess probably wouldn't do it. But I mean, still, I mean,
They do
Gengar
Bug.
every time Gengar comes in, you have to worry about Spore once the Skarm wakes up, and then you can also double on it. Like if
Yeah,
you think
and
Gar's gonna
that's
come in, you get Zapdos in for free every time, and you click Drill Peck.
the
I don't know.
real issue I had with the way Coco played his lines is that he never took this entire game he never took any favorable doubles. And then you kind of saw Watermesh just play in because he has the more defensive backbone team, a lot more healing on his squad than uh, than CyberOdin, who only has healing on the melodics,
Pretty sure you
assumedly.
said Coco, not Odin. I think you got Coco on your mind
Sorry, sorry, sorry. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
his
yeah, my bad.
life of luxury, but
I know, right? That guy doesn't need healing. His life's already perfect.
right?
No, yeah, Cyber, only has the melodic, so he doesn't really have the defensive backbone. So Watermess can kind of just switch in every single time, whatever the right counter is. And if Cyberon's not going to double once, then there's absolutely no pressure on Watermess, and that's kind of how that game just ended up playing out. He just switched in based on what was in front of him, and not a single time did CyberOdin go, "Let me get in my big threats." Loom, big threat. The Zapdos, big threat. Zapdos only needed one crit at several points to break through the game, but he didn't give himself enough turns to chase it. Like if you're out as a crit, you have to find ways to chase it, and he just wasn't doing that.
Yeah, the late game I think leaves a lot of questions for Odin. Certainly don't have time to fully analyze it right now, but the result is going to be Watermess winning, which is what you guys thought would happen, and that's going to set up what is probably going to be the most hyped and the most interesting match of the next round. It's going to be Watermess against SEA, and both these guys have a lot of fans, so that's going to be a huge one to watch. And that's going to leave us with only one more match to resolve in the round of 8. That's going to be TDK and Conflict happening at, well, it doesn't matter because by the time this is up on YouTube, it will have already happened. But it's happening 2.5 hours from now. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Uh, Anything to say, Java?
Nope. Godspeed.
Sweet. Later.